Lies are dangerous. Overall, we lie more than we brush our teeth.
Want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
Good evening, good afternoon, salutations. This is Ray McGuff with another episode of True Stories We Just Made Up.
Yeah, I'm Frank.
I was going to say with me as always is
Frank, or the new Farva. Which
right.
one? The new Farva. It's got to be. It's got to be.
New
If for some
Farva.
reason the old Farva appears, I'll still be the new one, and we'll have to have a battle, I guess, of some sort. Didn't know, or we could just get along. Why does it always have to be a battle when there's a second? Like if there's a second villain in a movie, they always battle. Usually they don't team up.
I just watched Kong versus Godzilla, and I was like, "Why are you fighting? You're the last two kaiju left, man. You know."
So was that good?
I tell you what. Have you seen the other ones? The Godzilla versus monsters, and
I've seen some of them. Like,
did you like the when you were a kid, the B movies?
Yeah, I mean the giant things.
I did too.
I would say at best they'll get a 6 out of 10 usually from me.
That's exactly what this was.
Yeah.
The story had plot holes that you could fly a Mothra through, but it was it giant monkeys fighting a giant lizard with super powered breath? Yeah. And did they destroy large swaths of the earth? Sure did. Yeah. And was it fun? It really was. So.
Now I would assume that Godzilla wins. That just makes sense.
Oh boy, do I spoiler alert it here, Frank? You want me to spoiler alert it?
Sure. Spoiler alert, if you don't want to know who wins, skip ahead or turn it off or whatever. Let's get into it. What is it?
All right. So they fight 3 rounds, right? 3 separate occasions.
Mm-hmm.
Both the first 2 end in ties, or kind of like, they kind of walk away from each other, hurt or injured, right? Third one, Godzilla just brings the hammer down, man.
Yeah.
And he's literally crushing Kong's chest and compressing his heart. Right. And Kong taps the fuck out.
Oh,
he's like, you are the number one superior being.
I mean, from Jump Street, I was like, Godzilla is a radioactive dinosaur, right? Like,
yeah,
he's got powers.
Yeah,
King Kong's just big, like he's
strong. A big lug. Yeah, and you find out through this one that he comes through a long line of king of these kaiju. He even has a throne in a weird way, and I won't ruin it for people, but they find his original kingdom in this one, and he gets this really awesome battle axe, which I can't even begin to describe how awesome that was. But then, and I'm going to spoiler alert again, after all of that, they team up. It seems like the movie's over. Mecha Godzilla comes out of the fucking woodwork.
Shit.
The Hong Kong people have been sick of this shit. They're like, hey, fuck both of yous. We got our own robot. And then they have to team up to fight Mecha Godzilla because Mecha Godzilla is off the hook.
Well, that sounds fun. And I think it'll be nice to see a good one. I'll be damned. I haven't enjoyed any. They've had a few come out. I haven't enjoyed anything since Peter Jackson's King Kong, as far as big giant things,
Oh wow!
I mean, but that's just me, and maybe a lot of people don't like that. Do people like Peter Jackson's King Kong, or is
it's very eclectic group of people. Like out of our core group of friends and my friends here in Columbus that are very much similar to each other, I'd say it's like every other person likes it and every other person despises it. I liked it. When it came out, I saw it in the theater, and then I bought the Blu-ray when it came out.
I thought it was cool. I mean, it probably, I haven't watched it in a while, but it probably looks dated. It's pretty old, but I liked the tribal people. I liked a lot of stuff.
Did you didn't see the one with Samuel L. Jackson that came out, King Kong?
No,
or Skull Island?
No, I heard good things about it.
Yeah, I'd recommend that one above all of them. In my opinion, that's the best one to come out of all of these.
I blind bought the Godzilla that had Bryan Cranston in it.
It's a good one.
I couldn't get into it. I was like, this is boring. This is so boring. And
Well, little side note to that is that one is actually number one in the series of these
is
new
it?
ones. So it
Oh, okay.
goes Godzilla, Kong Skull Island, Godzilla King of the Monsters, and then Kong versus Godzilla.
Oh, so it's all in the same world.
Yeah, it's in
It's
the
not
same
just
universe.
because
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, that makes more sense. Anyways, something I've been doing lately since we've had a lot of time off is you know there's this whole thing about people being offended that they changed Mr. Potato Head.
Mhm.
They don't like it. I have a new toy idea for specifically for these people that are upset. It's called Mr. Potato Dick or Mrs. Potato Twat. The parts are not interchangeable because we all know there are only two genders, and that line is not to be blurred in any way. So these parts will not work together.
So you can't invert the penis?
You can't put them on each other. They're two separate toys, two separate genders. Um, and all the pieces also will be packaged and stored in a separate baggie instead of the traditional Mr. Potato Head, which keeps it in the backside of the toy.
Yeah.
Because not in my country will anything be put in anybody's ass, especially not a child's toy. So that's just my idea, specifically for the conservative folks who are very upset by these things. I just think I might as well make a buck.
I agree.
It's fucking ridiculous though. The people, the thing that's been bothering me a lot lately about the internet is the consistency I see of posts where people are blaming an invisible they that is evidently a group of social justice warriors who are constantly complaining about cartoons, toys, media, books, and getting things canceled. But it's not what's actually happening. Anybody who knows how businesses work realize that these are people that are running these businesses who grew up with these properties, love these properties. They love the Looney Tunes. They love Mr. Potato Head. They love Dr. Seuss. That's Dr. Seuss family that's removing those titles from circulation.
Right.
They're also trying to make money. So, like, what better way to sell a toy no one is buying? When's the last time you saw a kid playing with a Mr. Potato Head toy?
Man, not since probably a decade. I mean,
Right.
at least 10 years.
So anybody who takes a few marketing classes and thinks about it and are in a position of power in a dying toy company, and they're seeing their major product declining. Well, what's a hot button thing we could do here? He's a Mr. Potato Head. We could just throw the gender situation onto the table, get that discussion going, sell a bunch of these things because they're going to start selling them. All the people that want the old toy are going to buy all those, and then all the people that want the new toy are going to buy all those. So it's like just racking up the cash. I don't know. Quit acting like I just want people to quit acting like there's an invisible group of snowflakes that are controlling everything, because I've never once seen any of my liberal friends post anything like, we got to do something about this skunk cartoon, or we got to do something about Yosemite Sam having guns. These are not, but I do see a lot of people that are the other side of things posting these complaints. I don't know.
Right.
Figure might as well make a buck off of them if I can.
I agree. I'm going to jump on the bandwagon, I think, and sell Mr. Potato Head Bibles.
Oh, there you go.
That's the Bible. It's literally the leather bound Bible, but there's a Mr. Potato Head glued on the front of it, and then you can play with them while you're learning your
it gets
his
boring.
Classic history about the man who fought a giant with a fucking slingshot.
Anybody who takes their kids to church knows it's hard to keep them to pay attention.
Right.
And you know what? I think while we're at it, since nobody's ever gendered the Bible, we might want to decide whether or not it should have some genitalia hanging off of it.
I always referred to my Bible when I was going to Bible classes when I was young as Lucy. So
see, I see. So you can
or Susan, depending on how she was acting. She was getting sassy. Susan, it was.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. So anything been going on with you?
uh well, is this where where I tell my true story?
Yeah, if you got one. I mean, I don't know if what's been going on in your world
Yeah,
yet.
I got signed up for the vaccination, Franklinton.
Oh, are you scared?
Not really, man. The guy that signed me up was pretty solid.
Yeah.
Um, so I've been looking online for about a month.
Hmm.
I've got my name out there all over, and I got a text. It said, "Sign up on Sawmill Road today." So on my lunch break, I drove over to Sawmill Road here in Columbus, which was close to my work. I met a guy who's in a nondescript black van.
Right.
Super friendly, man. I mean, like, get over his accent.
Hmm.
Nicest dude you ever met. And I got in, and they wouldn't let me in the back of it because that's where the procedure is going to happen.
Okay.
But I got in the front with him. We did some questionnaires, and gets real detailed too. Like, um, what's your daily diet consist of? Um, you have regular bowel movements. What's your sleep REM cycles like? They did blood pressure tests.
Wow.
Um,
It's in depth.
yeah, they said they even tested my kidneys, which is weird.
Hmm.
And turns out I've got super valuable kidneys.
No
Didn't know.
shit.
That's crazy.
Who's that?
Oh, that's
Oh,
that's Farva.
No
oh,
shit.
no shit. Yeah. So, so the guy was like super interested in my kidneys. I might get to actually be in his book. He's writing a book about people that have these really uh, in-depth kidneys, like the hardiest kidneys you can have.
He's writing
So
a book about kidneys.
he wants to scan my kidneys and everything. So, anyways, I go back on the 7th. We're gonna get that shot in the arm, and then he's gonna take a look at my kidneys for me and get some photographs for his book, and then I'll
Yeah.
come back in a couple of weeks, I guess, to get the final shot. So he was real nice.
This seems. I don't know, Ray. This seems really sketchy.
I I
Um,
mean I thought it seems like there's a lot of hoops that everybody's jumping through. So this just seemed
you know
like
what?
another
It
one.
is. It is a crazy time.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing a lot of different weird protocols for different things, and I know the store I work at, they're giving the vaccine right out the back door. So you sit in your car, you wait 15 minutes, bada bing, bada boom, you're out of there. But that sounds a little different. That's a little different, I think.
Yeah. So and it's pretty cool though too, because so on the 7th or 8th, God, I already forget. I think it's 7th. I'll have to double check. But I text him, and then I just meet him over in the Kmart parking lot off of Sawmill Road. It's not a
You still
Kmart
got
anymore.
Kmart's over there?
No, it's not a Kmart anymore. That's what he kept referring to it as. I
Oh,
think he
yeah.
lived there too.
It's probably an
But
older guy.
yeah, he was an older gentleman. Like I said, cool accent though. I can't place it. I want to say it's like Czechoslovakian. I don't know. But anyways, he said to me, kidneys are good. Again, so I text him. I'm gonna meet him over there. And then get into his van
Hmm.
and go from there, man. I'm
It
pretty
seems like
excited about it.
all the kidney business is unneeded detail.
Apparently, it's part of it is that your kidneys have to be a certain. You have to be a certain level of kidney. Like I have O negative blood,
Mm,
which is universal. You have to
right.
have kidneys in that certain realm of
Mm.
shape and that blood type to be able to get this shot. So
Oh,
this
well,
particular one,
I'll tell you what, I don't look forward to that part of things if that's the way it's going.
he said
You
it.
know,
He said it's not Johnson and Johnson. It's Johansson and Johansson. So
you know
that's the
what?
company.
You got to take what you can get, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard to get that sweet, sweet juice. Um, I'll tell you what, something I found out recently blew my fucking mind. I've known since I was a kid that pro wrestling's fake. It's because everybody really loves to tell you that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But not once in my fucking life has anyone ever mentioned to me that almost everything else on TV and in the movies is fake. Um, why was I told so many times that Hulk Hogan was not a real superstar that was throwing a man across the ring and injuring him to win a belt? Why was I told so many times that that was fake? But nobody once told me that Atreyu's horse did not die in that swamp. For years,
Right.
I've just been thinking that that happened. I mean, what's real? What's fantasy? Are you going to tell me that the Avengers did not save everyone? Um, so let me. I'm just gonna. Since I've been confused for so long, I'm gonna list off. You did you know this? You knew
I
this.
I knew that some TV was make believe, like the
Okay.
Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Yeah, that's make believe. But
Yeah.
is let's say Perfect Strangers. I like old 80s. Is
I
that
just thought
real?
that was a documentary,
What the fuck?
right?
I'm gonna have to do some googling. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that much. Somebody should have said something.
You're trying to tell me that Barky Baktakovich did not come. Balky Baktakovich did not
Barku
come.
Barku T
Barky,
Takamush.
yes,
Yeah.
Mr. Barky Baktakovich. He did not come from his lands to stay with uh,
I
cousin
mean,
Larry.
I'm not sure. My reality has been broken because
Yeah.
I was like, of course, the Undertaker doesn't have lightning powers, but surely Fred Savage in the Wonder Years, that's a real thing, right? Like that's not even like fantasy. That's just real. That's how
Right. We
this
were
shit.
definitely watching a kid in the 60s grow up in the 90s, right?
Right. Yes.
Good. I mean, because that would be weird if we weren't.
Yeah. What was it about that show that made it so good too? I don't
All
know.
the sexual tension.
Yeah, it must have been. Oh, he's gonna get her.
Yeah,
He's
it
gonna get
was
the
like
girl.
yeah, actually, you know what it was? In all honesty, I've rewatched a few episodes when as an adult.
Mm.
It's the voiceover.
Oh, Daniel
It,
Stern.
I honestly believe if you have anybody else, but maybe Morgan Freeman, you know, uh, doing the voiceover for that, it doesn't work
I don't
because
know. I think
Dan.
it might be like a fake nostalgia. Like they've shot it in a sort of way and put music in it in a sort of way that no matter who you are, you're like, those were better times. But you're like, I
Right.
wasn't even thought of at the because I felt like I was reliving moments, watching that shit. But I'm like, this is nothing like what now
I,
is.
I felt like, especially in the school parts, and I guess I do that with everything, Freaks and Geeks.
Yeah.
Um, God, there's a bunch of them from that time period. The OC,
Mm,
which is a newer one. But anytime they show a school setting, I mean, maybe even Saved by the Bell, like you
yeah.
start to get nostalgic for that time because you're like, there was always that person like that, or you remember a
Mm,
situation that was similar. Like any school dances and these things,
right.
I was terrified at school dances. I
Mm,
never knew what to do. What I'd see guys that were like grinding on girls, and I'm like,
mhm,
do I do that? Am I
mhm.
allowed? What is the protocol here? You know?
Yeah, I mean, I never went to a school dance, but when I went to a place where dancing was happening, I had no idea what the protocol was. I mean,
Right.
what the hell? What the like that one night? Remember that one night that lady was like all over you at the bar and like cornered you, and you're like, "Help!" or whatever.
Yeah. I can't remember why I was so afraid of her, but
She was like,
she was
do you
she was
know?
very aggressive.
You know what she reminded me of? This is gonna sound terrible, but the speaking of Looney Tunes, the Bugs Bunny, there was that real big bunny that was like obsessed with him.
Oh
Like
yeah,
it was she was like a pet, she was doing the Pepe Le Pew shit to you.
right.
That's what it was. Yeah.
And I just learned the lesson, which was at some point you have to say good evening, good night, if you don't
Yeah.
want to be involved with somebody.
A good
A
day to
good
you,
day.
lady.
Yes.
It wasn't
May your
working with
adventures
her.
take you elsewhere.
It didn't seem as though she wanted to let you go that night.
Yeah.
But
That was a rough one. Yeah.
yeah, we've all had those. Um, did you have another story or
Well,
we-
yeah. A lot of things have been happening to me lately. Like I said, I got the vaccine.
Why you gotta go bragging?
Yeah. God, what else was going on? There was something recently where, oh yeah, I at work, um, I went to a work function dinner. Okay,
yeah.
and it was like a fun thing they were trying to do to get everybody, to loosen up a little with this COVID stuff. But we had this waitress, and she hated our guts, like from the get go. Have I told you this story before, Frank?
I don't think so.
Okay. So, first off, in a COVID setting nowadays in a restaurant, if you have not been, most places don't have menus anymore. They make you scan an app on your phone.
Really?
So, yes. So, a boss of mine does not have a new phone. He's an older
Oh,
fellow.
I just got
So-
one myself, I'll be honest.
So he had a flip phone. So he goes, "Ma'am, I'd like to get a menu." And she goes, You just scan the app. We don't do menus." And he goes, "I don't have," he holds it up to her, "I don't have a scanner." And she just like walks away, like looks at me and just
I
walks
love
away.
that he holds his phone
Yeah,
up.
he's like looking at like in her eye, So I go, "It's cool, bro, man. Check this out." So I scan mine. I go, "Here, I'm gonna get these two appetizers. Use my phone." He's got glasses, great big glasses. I have glasses, but he's like pretending as if my phone is tiny, and he's like scrolling through.
Yeah.
Finally, the waitress comes back over. She brings my beer that I ordered. By the way, I'm that guy at a work function. It's after 5 o'clock. I ordered a beer because I'm a grown man.
Right.
So there. But anyways, she brings it over, and he goes, "I can't do this. You go get me a goddamn menu."
Oh my God.
And it got quiet. That's how loud he was yelling.
Yeah.
She goes, "Okay, okay." So she like runs behind the bar and gets him like a paper menu. Okay.
Right.
So he hands me my phone back. Now from there, things are kind of normal. She's staying kind of away from me and this other guy now because I'm sitting at his little table. So I'm fucked. I'm basically looped in with the crazy now, right?
Right.
So I'm trying to be extra nice. Please, thank you. How's the food? Delicious. We get our appetizers. We're eating. I start to dig into my chips because I ordered some salsa, and he goes, "Wait, those are the table chips. We need more if you're going to be using them for your main entree." And I go, "This is an appetizer. It's for everyone. You're allowed to have some too." And he's like, "No." He goes, "Ma'am, we need more chips."
Oh my
Okay.
God.
So she
I would
brings
be
now
dying, by the way. I would be dying.
now she's pissed, dude. So she starts to get even worse, like not talking to us at all. Finally, I get her attention at the end of the meal, and I was like, "Can I get a box for my rest of my stuff?" And she's like, "Sure." And she kind of glared at him, and he's like, "I guess I'll take a box too." So he gets her a box, right? Now, this guy's drunk at this point. And I'm going to tell you this story because he's never going to watch this. He can't work the fucking internet. So he's drinking this giant margarita, and he's looking around the room. And just for everybody to know, I didn't say this, but I'm going to tell you what he said. He looked at these two women. He's like, "Couple of lesbos over there."
Oh my God.
And I went, "What?" And he said it again. And I went, "Well, actually, if they are, that there's nothing weird about that anymore. You probably ought to get over that." And he's like, "I can fix them."
Oh
And
my
I went,
God.
"What the fuck does that mean?" And he's like, "You know what I mean. They're just missing something. They didn't have a dad that loved them enough or something." And he was going on and on. And I went, "All right, man, I think you've had enough of that margarita." you know? Yeah.
Wow.
So he puts the margarita down. We get our bills. This chick isn't coming back clearly at this point. So I go, we're going to go up here. I go, I'm going to ask him about a tip. So we walk up, and I go, "Miss, I'd like to pay this, but I don't have any cash. I'd like to give the lady that was our waitress a tip." And my boss one of my bosses leans over, and he goes, "I'd like to not give her a tip. As a matter of fact, I'd like to give you guys a tip." I'd like to tell you that with a waitress like that, I won't be fucking coming back here.
Oh my god.
And I like looked at her, and the girl was like smiling, but like angrily at me. And I went, I have to work with this guy. I don't know what you want me to say. Here, give her $10. So I
wouldn't.
gave her a $10 tip, which ended up being 5 and 5 because he
Oh
did
my
not tip.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, so that's how that ended. Did we talk about work? Sure, in between stuff, but I was so horrified. This is the first time I've been in a restaurant in months because I don't go out. So
Right.
I'm already not used to it still, I'm nervous as a normal, this about me. I'm always
Right.
in a perpetual state of nervousness.
Oh
So
my
I was
god.
about to throw my food up by the time I got in my car. I
Mm.
literally was like breathing heavy and going, I don't want to do this shit anymore. I don't know how you can, when you work at a company like mine, you have to do these once in a while. And I like yours, there sometimes there's no getting out of it.
Yeah.
Ugh. But I think
I
next time I may fake
oh,
something and say I can't go.
I'll tell you what, I couldn't do that, man. That would be rough.
Yeah.
Shit. Good
Ugh.
lord. Good lord. And
Yeah.
you live in a really progressive, like, he sounds like a wild asshole. Like,
He's a he's an old guy and he doesn't like change at all.
oh yeah,
And
most of them don't.
he's funny. He's a funny dude, but like mostly I thought he was harmless until he started like
Mhm.
telling me his ultimate plan to get rid of lesbians. And I'm like, whoa, hey, this
I,
got dark.
I, I work with some older people, and the one lady I work with, she gets hung up on the stupidest shit ever. Like, I work at a store. The district manager comes in and says, "Hey, move these items that are now, they're like these electronics items, move them out onto the sales floor. They're trying to get rid of them. Like, they're
Mhm.
trying to sell them. So they want to move all these headphones and all these things that are discounted out onto the floor." She goes, "Those are going to get stolen. Those are going to get stolen. They're just going to get stolen." I'm like, "Listen, man, if he comes in here and tells me to put them outside, I'm going to put them outside. I don't care. I don't own these items. They can steal them. They can not steal them. It doesn't, it's like, I'll try to not let them, I'll try to not, I'm not going to let people walk in here and just take shit. But for God's sakes, you know, everything's on the sales floor. It doesn't matter, like,
Right.
why would
And
you
it
care?"
makes sense. You would want the items you want to get rid of right at the door
Yeah.
so people see them as they're coming in.
And I
You
said
know?
to her, I said, what these aren't your things. Why do you care where they move them to? And I assume they've taken into, they might get stolen into account. They probably don't care, and that's why they just want to get rid of them. They're already marked down. What are they losing here? They're a multi-million
Right.
dollar company. They don't give a shit. I mean, come on.
Like they got a team of people that went, the risk outweighs the reward on this
Uh,
one. So yeah.
what if they steal all of our
Yeah.
our headphones and outdated electronic? I don't know. It didn't make
I mean, I was
sense.
in there once, Frank, and you guys had a digital camera that was from literally 22, like the early 20s.
Yeah,
So,
well, shit,
or
not
the early
up
2000s.
until not too long ago, we still had cassette tapes you could record on, which are sort of coming back in a weird way with young kids. But
Yeah.
cassettes sound like shit. They are terrible quality. We had them in the store, like Memorex. You could record your own shit onto them, make a
I,
mixtape.
I remember standing there at your register once to buy a soda pop, and I was like, that digital camera looks like it's been there a while. It had dust on it.
Mm,
And I was like, that's one from like early 2000. And it had like such a low megabyte that I don't even remember what it was that
yeah.
it could hold. So,
I remember we were at one point selling like 1 gigabyte memory cards, and I was like, "What in the fuck is this for?" Like,
right.
to take a few pictures and then you're done. I don't know. Anyways, are we moving into missed connections? Is that the name of the segment?
I believe so. Yeah.
Um, I'll go first. To the woman who I overheard say, "You're going to trust the same people who brought the virus here to cure it?" Uh, you sound ignorant as fuck. If you don't even understand the proper way to wear a face mask, maybe you shouldn't criticize any person trying to actively help this pandemic situation. Misconnections.
Nice. To the people offended at the juice bar this morning. I'm very sorry that I poured my Monster Energy drink into what looked like beet juice to me. It made it taste great, and I had a buzz all day. So yay!
That shit.
Misconnection.
When I read that post, I was like, I would have loved to have seen people's reaction to that.
It was great because we were all standing there, and then I
Mm.
did it, and I drank a big drink out of it, and I said it just like that. Just like I know that nobody, but probably me and a handful of people on Earth, including you, have
Right.
seen nothing but trouble. But I
Yeah.
went, fix yourself up and drink like I do, and I walked away.
You know, one of my favorite things to do that gets a great reaction is like to get a Kit Kat bar and just open it up and just bite it. Just eat it like that. People fucking hate it. And I don't get it because to me, I don't want chocolate on my fingers. And it makes sense to eat it that way. And I
Right.
do. That's how I do it. And every time I've done it in front of somebody, they're like, "Oh my god, are you a monster?" And I'm like, "I guess so. Guess what else I'll do? I'll fucking eat pizza with a fork and a knife." And you better believe it, because I don't want to get grease all over my hands. And it's so much easier to eat like pizza and not get it in my mustache shit, and like just be more comfortable eating it with a fork and a knife. Fuck you.
Right.
And I'll cut it with scissors. I will fucking do that shit because every pizza cutter I've ever bought breaks, and I end up using scissors all the time. And you know what's never broke? The scissors.
The scissors.
They're
Yeah.
always there. Um, I got another one here. To the guy who still has his Trump flag up, the election's way over. Give up the ghost. People have collectively decided that we want to go back to intelligence, science, politically correct politicians. You don't hire a carnival worker to perform your open heart surgery. Why would you want one to run your country into the ground for 4 more years? Missed connections.
All right. To the girl I saw at the gas station the other day, um, I'm sorry for looking down your shirt, but in my defense, you were leaned over and your shirt was visibly down enough for me to look down at.
It's all right.
Misconnections.
You can see the shame. There's shame there. That makes it all right. Um, to the people still recommending The Wire, you can stop. I know you feel it's a very important television series, but unless you're talking to a teenager, all of us adult folks would have already watched it by now. If we were interested in it, we would have watched it. Let me watch the dumb shit that no one else likes. And you can go to whatever the new drama on Amazon is. Uh, I will
You'll know-
never I will never watch The Wire. No
You
matter how
know
many, no matter
how many
many-
times I've tried to do it.
So many people, it's not just you. Everybody's like, The Wire, The Wire. Yeah, The
And
Wire.
I'll even try to tell them about it, and they'll go, "Well, that sounds outdated. Nobody uses cell phones like that anymore." I'll be like, "Fuck you! It's a different time. It's great acting. Won awards, you fucks. You don't want to watch award-winning dramas."
I don't want to watch any dramas, to be honest with you.
I know.
Yeah, it's rough. I used to be different, man. When I was um in high school and stuff, I was like, yeah, give me some cool lines, give me a whatever. But now I'm like, I just want to have a good time. I don't have any space in my entertainment schedule for, ooh, what are these feelings I'm having? Oh my god, is that real? Those character. I just don't have that. I don't have that. I want to laugh. I want to get it over with. I want to have a good time. I just feel that I want to fill all my entertainment space with fun times. And when you're like, hey, we're gonna kill this dog over here, and then that woman's gonna get raped, and then the cool part of this movie is that guy knows where the treasure is. It's like never. The cool part is never like pay off enough for the negative stuff for me. So it's like, yeah, sure, that guy had some awesome lines, but then I had to fucking see a rape and I had to see a kid get killed. And then there was like, that guy's got AIDS. There's always like all this shit that's wrapped around it that I'm like, that's just everyday life everywhere. That happens all the time. So, but did you have another misconnection or
Yeah, one more. to the same lady at the gas station the other day.
Mhm.
If you accepted my apology, please, if you would, email me, and I'll take you out for a nice cup of coffee. Wear that blouse. I like misconnection. No,
Nice.
I'm just kidding. That's mean.
No, don't wear that blouse. Wear something
Yeah.
else. He wants to see a
Wear
different
something
thing.
a little tighter,
Yeah.
if you know what I'm saying. God, I just got us canceled. This whole thing has got us
Nah,
canceled.
man, we were canceled beforehand. Um, but what was I gonna say? Oh, do you have any recommendations for things to watch or anything? I know you like
Boy, I
talking
do,
about that.
Frank. Not for you, really, but
Yeah.
I just watched, and I'm not kidding you, man, the greatest crime drama I've seen in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called Flinch, Flinch. Okay. It's written and directed by a first time writer and director. Well, he had written a horror film that was pretty popular in some short movie circuits, and the name escapes me. I will find out, and we'll talk about it the next episode. But let me set this up for you, quick and easy. This guy's a hitman, not by choice, but because his father was a hitman, and his father got caught, and the mafia boss he works for is making this kid finish out those contracts to get
Mm-hmm.
their family out of debt and to not kill him. Okay.
Right.
He has a code. He goes to take out this dude who's Tom Segura, by the way.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
and shit goes awry. A girl sees it. He doesn't kill women that are innocent, so he takes her hostage, trying to figure out what to do. This movie is like Buffalo 66
Okay.
meets the movie Drive with a little bit of Reservoir Dogs sprinkled in.
Uh.
It's well shot. It's well acted. It has an amazing soundtrack. That synth shit that you got turned me on to, Frank.
Yeah.
This whole movie is that. It's like a
Okay.
fucking
I've definitely
right.
seen that advertised. Now that you say Tom Segura, because
Yeah.
I saw little clips and little snippets of just Tom Segura, and I was like, did they do the genius thing of making Tom Segura a killer? And it made it seem like he was like a main murderer or something in it. And then
Yeah.
it's like they didn't quite do what I thought they were going to do. So I was like, well,
Well, he gets one up. He gets one up on the hitman, so it looks like he's about to
yeah,
take him out at one point,
yeah.
which is great. This part for Tom, I think it could lead to big roles. I think that guy's got a
He's a good
career in
actor.
movies. Yeah, he could be a fucking phenomenal.
Did you see he
bad
was in
guy.
that Mark Wahlberg movie with fuck, I forget who Instant Family or something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know if that's the name of it, but I saw it.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was
but,
really good, and
but
I think he could do big things. Honestly, like that. So, but
the thing you said when you say Buffalo 66, that's the kind of drama I like that weird shit. Like, there's nothing terribly dark that happens in that. I mean, I guess there is, but there's not something that's like offensively dark to me. It's like, God, you just did that to just fuck me up, you know?
right.
But yeah. Anyways, what else were you saying when you?
Oh, I'm just saying that I can't recommend this movie highly enough. It's got to be one of the best movies I've seen at this level because it's an independent film. And I would throw it back to Tarantino. I would say the first time I watched Reservoir Dogs, I felt this way. This feels like something that's fresh and new, something you haven't really seen before, but it's got the same tropes, you know, because it's got a twist that I didn't see coming, and I'm pretty good at catching shit. And man, just it's so, and their marketing is amazing too. On their website, they're selling VHS copies of this, which is I'm gonna buy one and set it on my shelf because it's fucking great. They're selling the sunglasses that this guy wears, right? So it's like it's got that kind of cool marketing vibe. One other flick I'd like to talk about real quick too. Oh God, I just watched it the other day. It's called Happily. And this one is it's more of have you seen the movie Vivarium?
Yeah, I love that movie.
Okay, it's more like that than anything else I can pigeonhole it into. Basically, it's got the dude from Community, the main guy,
Joel McHale.
Joel McHale, and this lady you would recognize her. I can't again. I'm not very good with names of these newer actors and actresses, but you'll recognize. There's a lot of comedians in this one too. Groups of friends are going to go on a holiday together on a weekend holiday retreat in this mansion. Okay. At the beginning of the movie, everybody decides to kick out the main couple, which is Joel McHale.
Right.
Okay. Um, and why? Because they're still acting like they're newlyweds and they've been married for like 15 years and everybody hates them. They
Oh
have
yeah.
sex all the time. They say, I love you. You know, their marriage is like perfect. Okay.
Right.
So they get kicked out. So then some shit happens where this guy shows up at their house and tells them that they're basically wrong. And I don't want to tell you
Oh.
much more than that.
Okay.
Some shit ensues. They got to get out of town for the weekend, and they end up going to the thing anyways. And then from there, they're like locked in this house with these people who they believe set them up for this crazy elaborate prank. Okay, and I'm telling you, man, it's got twists and turns. It's hilarious. Like I laughed my ass off twice in this movie to
Right.
where I had to stop it and go back because of the shit that was happening. And it's
Yeah.
got an ending that when you sit back, you're like, wow, I actually had a message too on top of it. So it was
That's
pretty
cool.
fucking good.
Yeah, I'll check that out. If it's anything like Vivarium, or is that how you say it?
Yeah,
Vivarium.
Vivarium.
That movie's. I thought everybody would just like that, but evidently there's both sides. The people either love it or hate it. It's not
I don't
like,
know how you could hate it. It's even if I didn't like it as much as some people do,
yeah.
it's the most interesting movie I saw at that time period.
Most of them just complained about the kid being annoying, but that was like, sure, he was annoying, but it was a disturbing glitch almost. It was like a weird, yeah, I don't know, it just added to the whole alienness of it. Like,
Yeah,
uh, uh,
and it showed what good people they were because I would have stomped that kid's head in about 5 minutes into knowing
mhm,
him.
yeah, for sure. Um,
So
yeah, the only things I can recommend is, God, I've been Nate Bargatze. I've been all over his specials. It's
you
just,
posted some stuff. I'm gonna have to check out that Netflix special. I haven't watched it
yeah.
yet. So
He's got several specials. The first time I ever heard him, he has an album called "Yelled at by a Clown" because his dad was a clown and a magician. Uh, and he's got some great stuff. But he's a clean comedian, and like I didn't even realize it. Like I was laughing to all this shit, and then he has a podcast called Nate Land that is also hilarious, and I highly recommend that. But he talked about how he was clean on there, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even notice it. But yeah, they're like good Christian Tennessee boys. But he hangs out with like Big J Okerson and all these
right,
dirty comedians. But he's just like, I never do it. I don't need to or whatever. And
and that
but
to me that takes a lot more skill.
yeah,
Um, like the what's that other guy that's like that? He has great big teeth.
Brian
Real.
Regan. Uh,
Um, he had the show on HBO with Artie where it was called Crashing,
oh,
where
Pete
he
Holmes.
Pete Holmes, yeah.
Yeah,
Pete Holmes is a really funny dude, but he's pretty clean too.
yeah, he's pretty
So
clean. But I've heard him go. I've heard him go pretty dark
I've
sometimes
heard him
too.
say some messed up stuff, but I think that's him trying to go out of his comfort zone a little
Yeah.
since he hangs out with these guys. He's like, well, let me try a dick joke,
Right. Yeah. Um, yeah. But other than that, I've been listening to a lot of that podcast, Nate Land, and the other podcast that's been fucking killing me is the guys from Workaholics have one called "This Is Important."
I've heard it. It's
Oh
great.
my god, there's
Oh
an
man.
episode called it's like seriously, Durs doesn't know how to tell time or something like that, and the whole episode they find out that Durs didn't know until like college how to actually tell time. Like he just kind of skipped over it in elementary school and never really picked it up. And then he had a digital clock that would just tell him the time, so he couldn't read a clock. And like they talk about that, and then they talk about eating hot dogs cold as a kid, and like it goes it goes crazy. It's just that's one that I was laughing outside by myself, listening to it and looking
Did you hear the
insane.
one where Blake was eating the sushi off the fucking tech counter right after COVID
Oh
started.
yeah, yeah.
He's like, you can't fucking do that. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're going to die. Nah, man. I see they clean this table every day.
But they get into this. I was losing it because they got into like he said Durs didn't understand why they were eating the hot dogs cold ever. He's like, you can't even do that, man. He's like, no, we do it all the time. It's just a snack. You just have a cold hot dog. You put something in some spaghettios, whatever. And he's like, you just eat it out of the package, like with that wet in there, that juice, that wet juice. Just the terms they use, shit make me lose it, man. But
I,
evidently they got a movie coming out soon or something like that.
oh, that's great.
They're gonna be working on a Workaholics movie. So
That's
but
fantastic because I think that show needed to keep going. If you
yeah.
can have, you know, what 12 years of Seinfeld and you know what I mean, like all these other comedies, we're
Yeah.
coming up on. There was like 12 years of Big Bang Theory. We're coming up
It's
on
Always
like
Sunny is what
yeah,
how many seasons is that?
15, right?
Yeah.
At this point, I mean, you could have eked out a couple more seasons
Yeah,
because
but it was Comedy Central. You know how they are.
I know
Um,
it was getting better though. It was
oh
actually
yeah.
funnier than it was when it had started by that
Oh
point.
yeah. And
So,
did you ever watch Game Over Man? That movie they put
oh
on.
god, yeah, yeah,
It's
I've seen it like 3 times.
so fucking funny. Great stuff there. Anyways, that's this episode. Do you want to promote anything? You got a Schlock
Oh,
Fest coming up. I know.
I'm gonna film a Schlock Fest, so look out for that. We're gonna film that this Saturday. I want to actually promote the Midnight Nexus.
Oh,
I've been
okay.
proud of a lot of stuff I've worked on, but I can't say enough about the Midnight Nexus, how it's turning out. Working with this group of writers and all and authors. Your story's up next.
Mm.
Are you working on that, or you got to?
Yeah, I'm writer's block a little bit. I kind of hung up.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but we can move on with someone else if I don't get it done. You know,
Okay.
I'm not
Well,
the most efficient writer, so it's
well, let me know. And like as soon as you know, and then I'll do because our buddy BD Yates, he
mm,
gave me exclusive rights to his 3 stories that are being looked at by an actual publishing house.
mhm.
And I mean, the guy, he's a great writer. It's been really fun though to work with Jacob Thornburg, BD Yates, myself,
Mhm.
you, Aaron England. I mean, there are some really different perspectives and
Yeah,
stories, and so that's what makes it great. It's the most unique thing I've ever been involved with, and I can't. If anything, I could say, please listen to it. I don't beg very often for stuff. In all honesty, I
yeah,
do most of this shit because I like it. I don't give a fuck if anybody listens to it or not. But
right.
these other guys deserve to be heard. Their stories. You're getting a free story, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
Told to you. You don't have to do anything but click the link with acting and editing and amazing sound effects. It's amazing. It's the Twilight Zone for your ears.
yeah.
So
I like it a lot. It's a really fun project to work on, and yeah. I mean, what we got 5 episodes, 6 episodes.
I think 5, and I think we're coming up on 6, right?
Yeah, I mean that's like a mini
Yes.
audio book right now. If you look at it at the time
Yeah.
wise, I mean that's like a little anthology of stories.
And there's something in there for everyone. With the episodes that's been released already,
Mhm.
I'm telling you, if you like sci-fi, you like action adventure, you like horror, um, if you like drama, there's just a drama story in there that was really well done. I'm telling you, you guys will dig something. You'll find something about it you like. And one of the episodes has a song that I sung very
Yeah, it is.
creepily over my recorder just one night when I was doing a little grandpappy syrup.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
that's a little bonus. Find that episode.
find that one.
Yeah.
Check them all out. But yeah, subscribe to ZTO TV podcasts. We have a last roundup horror club coming out. We talked to Nathan Hanneman from Horror Hound. That'll be coming out later this week or whatever. This will be way after that.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I'm mention that here. It's available at this
It
point.
will be available content by the time you watch this. So.
Yeah, it's up there.
And
It's
I'm
up
telling you,
there.
that was a great time, guys. Tune in for that.
Yeah.
That gentleman has some great stories and some cool shit to show off. So
Oh yeah, for sure. We'll definitely have him back. But anyways, this has been True Stories. We'll see you next time.
Lies are dangerous. Overall, we lie
Sit
more
through it.
than we brush
Just sit
our
through it,
teeth.
Ray.
Want the truth? You can't handle the truth.
Okay. That's it.